Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the global stage right here at Switch 2025. How are we doing this morning? We doing good over here, gentlemen? So far, so good. Do we have our coffee? Little cafe. We are rocking and rolling. My name is Bobby. It's great to be back with you here once again at the global stage. If those who have never been at Switch before, this is the stage where we connect like-minded individuals from all over the globe. This is the 10th edition and our largest gathering yet. 36 global markets, 30 pavilions across 13 markets happening here today. And one of the most innovative countries in the world, especially for tech startups, is Brazil. We're going to hear more about what Brazil's looking for, how you can work with Brazil to include and make your tech startup a success. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to invite on stage a very special guest, His Excellency, the Ambassador of Brazil. Please welcome Luciano Mazza.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Better. Well, hello, everybody.
You know what? Don't worry about that. Luciano, hello. Let me just use my mic for a second here.
Yeah,
Let's just try this one.
works better. Yeah, well, first of all, thank you. It's an honor to be here. Thank you, everybody, for being here today with us. I just want to make a very quick introduction and have our guests here with us. The idea is to have a panel show a little bit more about the Brazilian innovation ecosystem. This is the fourth time that Brazil has institutional participation here at Switch. Is an effort that we have been doing as part of a very broader innovation diplomacy policy that Brazil has been conducting over the last few years. Is a program that I'm very proud of in Brazil, and specifically this program is supported by our Brazilian Minister of Foreign Affairs. We have this content session making an effort to bring you a little bit more about the innovation ecosystem in Brazil with people that really know about it, not myself, but they really do about this in a more technical and experienced way. But as part of this program, you also have a pavilion, a Brazilian booth here at Switch that I invite you all to have a look at. And we have Brazilian startups that are here to show their solutions, their innovations, and engage with different people here in Singapore, finding new business, finding collaborations, finding investors. So we're very honored and proud to be here, being part of this Switch event. I just wanted perhaps to have here with me at stage our colleagues to join me at the panel. Perhaps we can announce them.
Yes, sir. Yes, we can. Let's do that right now, ladies and gentlemen. Let's meet our panelists to the stage. First, we have Juhairo Marzuk, Vice President, Institutional Relations, APAC at Embraer. Next, we have Professor Romildo Toledo, Director of International Relations at Amprotech and Executive Director of UFRJ Tech Park. And last but not least, Vital Yasumaru, Incubation and Entrepreneurship Supervisor of Innovat Unicamp. Gentlemen, the stage is yours.
Well, thank you very much, Juhairo, Romildo, Vital, for joining us in this session. First of all, I'd like to give the floor for each of you, perhaps to make a brief introduction of yourselves, of our institutions. Then you set the scene for a more informal conversation covering different aspects of the Brazilian innovation ecosystem. I will perhaps start with Juhairo from Embraer. Embraer, as you know, it's a major innovative company in Brazil. I think it does not require a lot of presentation. Embraer has a specific units dedicated to innovation itself, Embraer X. And Juhairo will tell a little bit more about this for us today. Juhairo, the floor is yours, please.
Thank you, Ambassador. Bon dia to everyone here today. My name is Juhairo, and I'm very delighted to be here to speak more about Embraer, the parent company, and also Embraer X, our innovation startup arm. Let me give you a bit of context of Embraer. We are actually the world's third largest aircraft manufacturer. We are proudly Brazilian, headquartered in São José dos Campos, located in Sao Paulo State. We have over 20,000 employees worldwide. We have delivered over 9,000 aircraft. We are in the commercial aviation, defense, executive, and also services and support business with customers in over 100 countries. As a fun fact, we are the only OEM or aircraft manufacturer that produces all aircrafts, commercial, business, and defense as well. I think, particularly in Singapore, we're very proud to have Scoot flying our aircraft. It's the only apart from Airbus and Boeing, we are the only aircraft manufacturer that flies out of Changi. And now let me talk a bit about Embraer X. I think Embraer X is I like to call it our more cool and interesting cousins. They were set up in 2017 as an innovation subsidiary. In essence, they are a startup within a corporation. Embraer is a very traditional aircraft manufacturer, engineering company, and there was a sense in the leadership that we needed something a bit more nimble, something to deal with disruption, and therefore Embraer X was set up as well. While Embraer, the parent company, does with most of the engineering and a lot of the issues such as certification, Embraer X is set up for experimentation, while pursuing moonshot ideas. I'll just highlight maybe two of the initiatives that may be of interest to the crowd here. First is Beacon. Beacon is an AI-powered platform that deals with aircraft maintenance. It actually is a predictive software that tells you when to do maintenance before it happens, and it delivers a lot of efficiency gains. And perhaps some of in the crowd will have heard of Eve Air Mobility, which was actually now a separate company, but it started off as incubated in the Embraer in Embraer X. So Eve Air Mobility is an eVTOL company, and they are developing aircraft that can fly up to 100 kilometers with 5-seaters as well. And if you are around for the Singapore Air Show, I'm pretty sure you can come by their booth to look at their mock-up. Eve is separate. It's listed in New York Stock Exchange and growing, and they currently have the largest back order of eVTOL aircraft in the market at the moment. So then I'll just stop here, and I'll look forward to discussions and the questions. Thank you, Ambassador.
Johairo, thank you very much. Romildo is not only the executive director of the Science Park from the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro, but he's also director of Amprotec. Amprotec is the main entity in Brazil that gathers tech parks, incubators. So it's in a very good position to have a broad picture about the innovation ecosystem in Brazil. Romildo, please, your initial remarks.
Thank you, Ambassador. It's a big pleasure to be here today to show a bit of the Brazilian ecosystem. Myself, I am the CEO of the Science Park of the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro. We are a very well consolidated science park with more than 22 years, having many companies and startups on oil, gas, energy, and more recently on agribusiness, health, and tourism. So we are expanding our activities. So I'm, of course, open to discuss with you about opportunities in our science park. We have 3 incubators of companies there, including a hub of innovation with new areas for decarbonization, climate change. So these are energy transition. So these are areas that are very important for the Brazilian economy. And then I will move a bit to show you what we have in our ecosystem. Of course, this is beautiful Rio de Janeiro city. And I will show you in 3 or 4 slides just to give you an overview about how we are organized. Our association has more than 350 associated, including science parks, accelerators, incubators. But these are only the members of the Amprotec. In the country, we have much more than that. We have more than 500 environments of innovation. So we have nearly 15,000 incubator startups company and this is growing quite a bit. One important thing is the incubators are mainly maintained by the federal universities and the state universities of Brazil, because this is the place where we do R&D. So the companies are very close to us, but research, development, and innovation in Brazil is done mainly in the universities. So as a consequence, 70% of the science park and also of the incubators are linked somehow to our universities. And we also have a center for technology transfer. We have this very organized. Vital, a colleague that is going to present as well, works in one of these environment for technology transfer. This is quite well developed in the country, very easy to make business there. So this shows you a little bit where the science parks are located. We have about 65 science park active, working, and few more being implemented. So in the total, we have more than 100 science parks. We still need to go more to the north part of the Brazil, to the areas where we have the Amazon. So green economy is something that we need to develop, but I think we can discuss more that later, Ambassador, to show the potential. We started mainly in the southwest and the south of Brazil, because we have there São Paulo, Rio de Janeiro, Porto Alegre, Santa Catarina. These are the states where we also have the stronger universities. So that's where they both. But now we are growing and still in the coast of the country, but already in Bahia, Pernambuco, Bahia, Fortaleza, so in the cities that are far in the northeast, and moving in the center of the country at this moment. The map of the startups, again, has a higher concentration in the south and in the southwest, but again, is growing quite a bit to the northeast and now even to the center part of the country as well. So why Brazil matters in Latin America? Because we are the main country in terms of R&D, also in terms of innovation. We attract most of the venture capital that comes to the Latin America. We have a big market, and Brazil is, of course, the leader of the continent. But most of the venture capital that comes to Latin America comes to Brazil. So this was just to give you a flavor of what we can discuss later in the panel. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Romildo. I'm sure we will delve into some of those issues in our discussion. As you said, the main part of a lot of the innovation that's being done in Brazil is related to universities, and many of our tech parks are associated with our universities. And we have here, in addition to yourself, in the case of University of Federal do Rio de Janeiro, we have Vital from Inova Unicamp, that is the tech park of the University of Campinas. Vital, please, the floor is yours.
Hi. Thank you, Luciano. Thank you, Tatiana, and Brazil Embassy for this invite. It's an honor to be here. My name is Vital. I'm the supervisor of the Unicamp Incubator. Unicamp is a public university located in the city of Campinas, in the state of São Paulo. We are one of the top 3 universities in the country. Unicamp has 6 campuses, 4 hospitals, and 2 technical schools, where we have 6 for undergraduate programs with over 20,000 undergraduate students. And we have also 83 master degree programs, almost 80 doctoral programs with over 16,000 students. Talking about tech transfer, Unicamp has 1,600 patents in our portfolio, more than 200 technology transfers agreements with corporations. Uh, and talking about R&D, 86 research and development agreements with companies also, because Unicamp was born looking for applied sciences and tech transfer agreements. So we have now 8 for academic spin-off companies from Unicamp, and a Science Park with 80 companies, most of them deep techs residents affiliated with the our Science Park. And we have also technology-based incubator with 30 companies incubated there. And most of them are deep techs also. In 24 years, the incubator has graduated 64 startups. I'm proud of about this number. Our most important number is that 77% of these deep techs are still alive in 24 years. It's a very nice number. And another number we have here, sorry. Finally, we also maintain relationship with more than 1,700 companies founded by our former students, which together have an annual revenue of 30 billion reais annually. Two of them are unicorns now. So this is our I don't know if you know Unicamp, and I brought you numbers to know our ecosystem. Invites everybody to visit Campinas and visit us. You are all welcome. Thank you.
Vital, thank you so much. Just to continue our conversation, I will make a question for the three of you, a more general one about the general ecosystem in Brazil. As Romildo and you all said, but Romildo gave some additional details. Brazil is seen as a leading Latin American innovation landscape in terms of numbers, of incubators, tech parks, unicorns. And we see a sharp growth in many sectors, but in some sectors in particular. Like think about fintechs, agri-techs, and others in different sectors. I want to ask you, what do you, in your opinion, is the strengths of the ecosystem? Of course, there are weaknesses, of course, but try to focus on the strengths. Why do you think that the country is doing well and can do better to foster this ecosystem the way things are going today? I'll perhaps start with Romildo, then Vital, and then Juhairu. I'll ask you to try to be brief. Our time is not that long. So Romildo, please.
Yes, thank you. Brazil is very well known in three main areas. One is led by Embraer, that is very well recognized internationally. The other one is oil and gas. Brazil is leader in the world in deep sea water, so we have very good technology that we exported to many countries. We are also a big leader in hydraulic generation. So this even China, when they built three Googles, they took the expertise of Brazil in building dams. 70% of the energy that is generated in Brazil comes from hydraulic dams. And now we are moving to energy transition. So wind generator, offshore and onshore, decarbonization of the industrial process. These are areas that Brazil is doing very well, I think, and has a good chance for business as well. So those that are here that are interested in this, agri-techs is very important. Brazil has lots of land, it's developing a lot. The agricultural sector, we are now launching a center in our science park for fertilizers, biofertilizers, plant nutrients. So this is very important for the country. So in terms of make our economy strong and more independent. And also I think that the health sector, Brazil has a public health system that is quite broad, that attend 85% of the population, but needs lots of optimization. So technologies like digitalization, artificial intelligence, robotics. This has very nice room and I think space to develop business in Brazil to improve our health system.
Thank you, Romildo. Vital, what do you think is the strengths of the system in Brazil today?
I think it's the public funding for the startups, because especially in Unicamp, almost of the founders are from the university, has PhD, but they don't have money to start their ventures. So public policies for funding the company is very important in Brazil. I think is the most important policy in Brazil that helps the researchers to become entrepreneurs, boost their companies from TRL 0 until TRL 6, attract the corporates so they can make together business and develop their companies.
Thank you very much, Vital. Juhairo, your comment on this, please.
Thanks, Ambassador. Just like there will not be Silicon Valley without Stanford, Berkeley, or Caltech, I'd like to say that there will be no Embraer without ITA, the Instituto Tecnológico de Aeronáutica. I think one of the greatest strengths is the universities and also the strength of STEM talent in Brazil. And I work on engineers on a day-to-day basis, and I think Brazilian engineers are world class. I'm not saying this just because my boss is an engineer, but generally they're world class talent, and I think there is a pipeline for STEM education in Brazil which is often not understood by the rest of the world. In Embraer, we also believe in developing human capital. We have what we call Colegios Embraer, which is a high school up to pre-university. We fully fund these two schools, all the way up to pre-university. Typically, the students are from disadvantaged backgrounds, and I was told that they do very well in the national exams. They place very well. We have one campus right by Saúzitas campus, and the other one is in Botucatu. So just to sum up, I think engineering talent, people, and education, that is what Brazil is doing right, and I think should continue doing, in the near future as well. Thank you.
Juhairo, thank you. And I think you touched in an issue that is important to our discussion, because we see a lot of strength in the university system in Brazil. Generation of knowledge is there, and I think I think personally, but we see this discussion on how to better translate knowledge in innovation, how to make sure that can go to the productive system, how companies can employ it, how we can. And I know this is a big discussion in Brazil, that things have improved over time, but it's still something that we perhaps have more to learn. And I know that a lot of people, when come to Singapore, that's an area where people want to understand a little bit more, because Singapore has some very interesting experience in this area. So I want to perhaps start with Vital from Unicamp. Being there, what do you see the biggest challenge for technology transfer from university in Brazil to the market? And how can investors or corporates support this process?
The most difficult thing is to approximate the corporates to the university. We don't have so much culture with corporates and university ventures. I think I can say teach them. They can do research with the university. Most of the corporates don't know how to talk with us. I think this is one of the most challenges for the university and for the corporates in Brazil. And to talk to the students that they can be entrepreneurs. They can work together with the corporates. They don't know. They think they are only researchers into their labs, and they don't look to the markets. and make tech transfer activities with the companies.
Romildo, would like to add something to this point. You have this experience in
Yes.
FRJ.
Yeah, I think in the last few years the system gained lots of maturity. We now most of our technology transfer units that we have in our universities, they have policies that are already well established. Most of the universities they wrote these recommendations, that standards that make the technology transfer easier. Also, many of the universities and the science park now they have international offices as well. So this is another thing that is very important to facilitate the connection. I agree with Vital that if we had more money, we could impose more. Now we are discussing with the government about soft landing programs in both ways to Brazil and also to send our companies out. The program of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Diplomacy for Innovation, I think it's a quite successful program. We have visited the ecosystem of China, the ecosystem of India, trying to connect with people interested in the areas that are important to Brazil, that are mainly the new industrialization areas. Brazil has a new industrialization plan and has most of the areas that I have mentioned here are included there. And I think we are ready to make business with the companies that we want to establish in Brazil. We have a space, we have room, and we have maturity already to do that. So that's what we are designing this program with the Brazilian agents FINEP, with the support of CNPq as well. So this was also part of the agreement during the BRICS. So I think this is becoming easier. I think this is becoming really a possibility. I think if Singapore is interested in to have connection with us, I think it's good moment to do that.
Thank you, Romildo. Would you like to add something to this, Juhairo? No. But I think you touched an important point about internationalization, and I think our participation here shows a bit how you're really engaged in this direction, because we see as something that's important to make sure startups can have access to other markets, can internationalize, can have scale. So certainly is an important dimension of the system. I wanted to continue, perhaps. Brazil, of course, you showed in the map from Protec. It's difficult to say to describe one Brazilian ecosystem, innovation ecosystem, because the country is big. You have a lot of regional differences, and if the universities have different focus and different expertise in different areas. So most likely we have clusters in different regions that are sometimes moving in specific directions and focusing on specific directions. Having Brazil the largest network of incubators and tech parks in Latin America, where do you see the most dynamic regional clusters emerging or growing looking forward, Romildo?
I think apart from those that are in São Paulo and Rio, I think Santa Catarina State and Rio Grande do Sul are very well developed as well. All of them with more than 1,000 incubators and science parks altogether. São Paulo has 4 times more than this. São Paulo is really very, very strong. I think Paraná State is growing a lot. It's spread around the state. Mato Grosso, that is where the agribusiness is more strong, both Mato Grosso and Mato Grosso do Sul. And I would say Bahia State in the northeast, Ceará State in the northeast, are those that are ready to really both And Pernambuco, because we have the Porto Digital, that is the biggest district of innovation of Brazil, very strong in digitalization. They very in computer science. These are their niche, but they are very very big. They are already internationalizing. They are in Aveiro in Portugal now with a branch. So I think these are the areas that are going to grow. But I also have lots of confidence about the north part of Brazil. In the Amazonic areas, we have lots of potential. We can make like Silicon Valley, but based on green technologies.
Thank you, Romildo. And I'm sure now with the COP30 coming up, I think a lot of folks on the region, and we do know that nature-based solutions are in the order of the day. Any of you would like to add something to this topic? Vital, perhaps?
Well, Brazil is such a big country, and the startups born in Brazil, they forget to internationalize because the country is very big. I think now they woke up that they need to look the markets abroad. Most of the entrepreneurs in Brazil don't speak English. It's a barrier. It's difficult. The language is a barrier. And the culture of entrepreneurship in Brazil is we don't have the culture. No, people don't know how to entrepreneur in Brazil, and now we are boosting this culture. I think from now Brazil will appear in the map, as we say in Portuguese.
And you said, I think nowadays universities are focusing more on this, on teaching entrepreneurship as well as a skill that people they need to know and need to. I'll move on. I'll have a question now to Juhairu from Embraer. And Embraer, again, is I think this is year after year ranked as one of the most innovative companies in Brazil, and is a international success. And of course, as you mentioned, Juhairu, Embraer is established in São José dos Campos initially. Now have other plants worldwide, but in other areas, in other regions in Brazil as well. And has always worked very closely with university and technical institutions in Brazil. And I just wanted to ask you to talk a little bit more about the experience of Embraer in this field. How does Embraer work with startups and universities, particularly in the Brazilian ecosystem, and where you see the next big opportunities for collaboration?
Thank you, Ambassador. Specifically, Embraer X is always on the lookout for opportunities for partnerships in startups and universities. There are 6 specific innovation verticals I think will be of relevance. First is zero emissions, autonomous flight, artificial intelligence, advanced manufacturing, passenger experience, and airframe competitiveness. I think this is where startups and universities can add value to it, because primarily we are a aircraft assembler at its core. We put together aircraft, and our core competencies focus on that. As you mentioned, I think green technology is where we see a lot of scope for future collaboration, because we're not the market leader in that, and we need new technology to power the future of propulsion of zero aviation. Just to give a sense of, we released what we call the Energia Blueprint of zero emission. We foresee aircraft starting from SAF, sustainable aviation fuel, then moving on to hybrid electric, then electric, and then finally to hydrogen. These technologies do not exist. This is a clean slate. The rules and the technologies are still being developed, and I think this is where I think startups and universities will play a very important role, in partnering with us and the industry at large as well. Thank you.
Juhairu, thank you very much. We are getting close to the end of our session. I'll make one last question and ask you just to conclude to reply very, very straightforwardly. Brazil has attracted around 17 billion in venture capital over the past 5 years. That represents nearly half of all VC invested in Latin America. Looking ahead, where do you see these investments flowing in the coming years? In more consolidated sectors that I read like fintech or e-commerce, or into emerging areas such AI, climate tech, biotech? What are your feeling about the future in this?
I think it's going like our colleague has just mentioned. SAF is one area. So green areas. Brazil has a strong potential for green technologies because of the nature. We have all potential. So ocean resource is very important. Blue economy, green economy. See, these are areas that Brazil is very strong and can play a role in the world. Of course, AI as well, but AI, I think we will embark it in other technologies. I don't see Brazil.
More the applications.
Yes, in the applications. I don't see Brazil as fighting with China and US to see who is going to lead the technology. So, but I'm very optimistic that we can develop together solutions. Also, health. Health is very important for Brazil. Because we still have lots of room to not to improve the management of our hospitals and the procedures. All these things requires technology, and technology that we know already. We have it already, so we can have capital to that.
Thank you, Romildo. What's your take on this one, Vital?
I agree with Romildo. Health tech in Brazil is a very strong area. Agriculture also. And I can say cybersecurity in Brazil is very strong. And biotechs. We have very nice biotechs in all of our public universities, growing in an early stage. But I think the venture capitalists may look for us in the universities, in the early stage companies, and invest in us. Because I think we have a lot of potential to bring new innovations for the markets, not only in Brazil but all over the world.
Want to add something on this?
Just make a very quick point on Brazil should play to the strengths. There's already a very strong aerospace and defense cluster in Brazil, in addition to Embraer as well, and also agriculture. I think there's already a base to build upon to bring all these disruptive new technologies. So my view is should play to your strengths.
Juhairo, thank you. We are getting close to the end of our panel. We had lots of other questions to make to our panelists, but of course the time is limited. I hope this conversation was sufficient, at least to give you a flavor of what Brazil is doing and what is the potential in terms of innovation. It's a large country. There are a lot of clusters, a lot of different areas, a lot of technoparks and incubators and accelerators. I think nowadays a vibrant and dynamic market for innovation. A lot of movement in the venture capital investments happening. And Juhairo mentioned the aeronautical sector, oil and gas, agriculture, health, biotech. I think agri-tech, of course. So I think the potential is huge. In many areas are already well developed and many growing. So really think there's a lot to look at if you're interested in Brazil and interested in expanding your business or making more connections and finding new collaborations in the region. So thank you very much for being with us here today. Hope you have the time to visit our booth and talk a little bit to our innovators there. Thank you so much and have a good day. And thank our panelists for being here with us very much. Thank you.
Big thank you to our panelists and of course